Hello, my viewers. This is your host, 5 Minutes or Less Review, and I'm coming to you live with another episode of Let's Understand What's Going On in the Manosphere. Today, I have a video here that I wanted to speak to you guys about. I saw this lady, I don't know what she's talking about, but me and you are gonna figure out what she's talking about so that we can basically give her an understanding of what she's saying. Now, if you guys want a direct link to her page, please go ahead and just hit that direct link. It's often best to listen to what I say and then go over there and then listen to it fully. That way you can make your own judgment. Or you go to her page, listen to it, make your own judgment, and then come back, and then me and you right here, you can listen to what I have to say about it and see whether we are on the similar page. So with that said, I'm just gonna roll the footage, all right, and then we're gonna break it down. All right, let's move.
This juxtaposition of ideas here, because normally when we do more at school, when we do more for our friends, when we do more in life, more value comes out of it. But unlike, let's pause for a second, doing more for them does not equal them valuing you more. There is this juxtaposition.
So doing more for men does not mean that they value you more. And she has a point there. Only if the man does not love you, or he does not care about you, or he is not in that position where he's going to take care of a woman who loves him. That's the only time it counts. And many other times when women are doing more for you, they end up treating you like a child rather than a partner. Let's get that straight.
Of ideas here, because normally when we do more at school, when we do more for our friends, when we do more in life, more value comes out of it. But unlike normal things, men are not the same. They are not the same. Sometimes they take from the fact that you are doing more for them, not the fact that you are more valuable, but the fact that they are more valuable. What they see in
that's not how it is. Men don't look at you doing more for them meaning that they are more valuable. Men just choose to ignore certain things and focus on other things. That's how men are. It's not as if what you're doing is insignificant. It's just that to us, many at a time, it's more like you playing your own role and we have to play our own role too in the whole process. But the problem is that a woman wants her own role to be valued more than the man's role, and then you have a problem. Many times men don't talk about it, men just keep quiet and just let it slide, and women keep having this so-called idea that okay, I need to be valuable. I need for him to see me as valuable. It does not work like that. The main thing is do what you can for your man. Make sure you're inserting yourself into the man's life so that his life is a little bit easier. Okay? That's how it is. If you're inserting yourself into his life to make his life easier, he also has to do the same in return by inserting himself into your own life to make your life easier. Problem starts when you start doing it for a man who doesn't love you, who doesn't want you around, and he's just seeing you as just somebody he can, nothing, and then move on. That's how it usually happens. And many of the times, these women are often talking about men who are very narcissistic, and that's where they're coming from. They're not picking out normal guys or guys who care about them. They often look at men who care about them as weak. That's a problem.
your actions and doing more. Let's say you're cooking for them, you're looking after them, you're calling them, you're making sure their mental health is mental healthing. From that, they do not take the fact that you are valuable. They don't see those actions as you are amazing or you like them. They see these actions as I must deserve them. That is the male mindset.
No, sorry, love. That's not the male mindset. That's the feminine way of looking at things. Men don't look at it as, oh, I must deserve them. Men many a time don't get this kind of treatment. So when you have somebody else who's treating them right, they often show respect and value for those things. The problem is you're doing it for somebody who does not care about you. That's where you're having a problem. For them, it's more like an annoyance when you're doing all those things for them, and they don't want you near them. You know, maybe you're that 2 a.m. big woman whom he normally goes in and, you know, get his rocks off from there. Does he want to see you in public? Does he want you to be doing this and that for him? No. He just wants to just be that main squeeze at night, you know, that he just takes care of his needs and move on. But he's not trying to be associated with you, and you're sitting down here trying to do all these things for him. You're going to feel like as if you're being used, and in reality, you're being used. You're not going to be valuable. So there you go.
I must deserve them if she is doing them, because men do not do things for people they don't see value in. So you're doing this.
Are you serious? Are you serious? Men don't do things for people they don't see value in. That is not a male way of looking at things. That's a feminine way of doing things. That's selfishness. Men do things for society. Men do things for their family. Sometimes even against, you know, the norm. They do things to many times to protect their society, protect their people. You know, they protect the weak. There doesn't have to be value there for him to do something for you that is good. That's a man for you. Women often say, why should I? Why should I? Why should I? No. Men don't do things like that. Men do things because there's a moral code to doing certain things, and you help out. Those are men. You know? And before, let me be frank with you, when I was growing up, these traits were also, you know, in women too. There was no this self-centeredness nonsense that's going on in this country. People did things because there was a moral code.
Is adding to his valueness. Do you know what I'm saying?
No.
For those of you listening to this and watching this, I want to make a note. I'm 2 months postpartum, and after I have my children, I get thyroiditis, which is like hyperthyroid. So if I'm talking a little bit faster, I get my blood test results next week. If I'm a little bit more excited about this, it's my thyroid talking, okay? But the facts are still facting. The facts are still real. The thyroid might be doing the excitement, but the facts are still real. Number 2, valuing yourself and putting yourself first and putting a high price on your time does make men value you more. So you might be thinking,
Again, it has nothing to do with valuing. It has everything to do with the man liking you. If you're putting such a high price on your time, a man will walk away from you because you are valueless to him. You have no value at that point. You don't put high tag on your time. Either you want the man or you don't want the man. But the moment you start putting tags on your time, a man's time is more valuable than a woman's time. Let's be frank about that. Because a man usually uses that time to actually go out there and make money. You know, make more money, do more work, do more things, build more things. Women use that time to gossip and talk and do this and do this and do that. Most of the time they spend it talking. Even on the job, I see many at the time they're always talking. They're not working. They're not trying to arrange things. They're not trying to create things. Always talking until the next thing comes. So please don't talk to me about women talking about their own time. If a woman keeps her own time to her own self, I'm going to advise men, walk away from her. She's often useless. Because by the time you get her attention, you realize she has nothing to offer you. She's a waste of time.
Okay, me doing things for him does not make him value me. What does, Margarita? I'm telling you, fact number 2 that I wish I knew in my 20s is men value you through the paradigm of the amount of time and effort you put into yourself. Have you ever seen the amount of time and effort a man puts into his car? The old banger that he redoes and reframes and does all these things and makes sure it's parked in the right garage and makes sure it's shine shoe I know no car terminology, so I don't know what I'm saying. But what I am saying is, in the man's mind, the thing that holds value is the thing that time, money, effort, and energy is spent on. So when he is
sometimes women don't really understand what men are. She has no understanding of what men are. When a man is messing with his car, that's his hobby. That's his hobby. That's his gaming time. That's his video game time. That is his bowling time. That is his house project time. We do these things for one very simple reason. We are enjoying / relaxing / want to get to that point where we feel fulfilled. We feel fulfilled when we build things. We feel fulfilled when we create things and see it move. There's this thing about a man that when he makes something happen and he sees the end of that project, there's this feeling within us that it makes us feel great about ourselves. This is the reason why men work so much on their cars. A man cannot sit down there spending time with a woman because she has a mind of her own. She can just mess everything up that you've been working on in one fell swoop by saying she's not going to do it. A car is compliant. A car follows direction. You just have to understand everything underneath the car, and the car just does what it needs to do. A house has a sense of direction. It has its own rules. Follow the rules and you'll be great at it. You know? Everything is compliant. Except a woman. A man cannot sit down there spending time on a woman who is non-compliant. 1 minute she's up, the next minute she's down. She's not consistent. And a man cannot spend time, remodeling or building time with a woman like that. You know? I mean, at times you don't really see the benefit. You don't see it. Except if the woman, is really in love with you and she wants to be around you. Yeah, you can basically see it from there. But many of the times you really can't. So many of the times we spend time on our hobbies. You know? That's how we center ourselves. That's how we get things. We feel great about ourselves. We feel like men. When we build, when we create, when we accomplish. We feel like men. That's not the reason why we work on cars. And moreover, many of the reasons why we drive flashy cars is because we're trying to use that to catch the fish. Nothing more. Oh, goodness gracious, she's lost the direction.
And you're putting a lot of time into him and nothing into yourself. He's done the calculation, and men in the comments are going to deny this because they don't want you to know this truth and this fact, but it is the truth and it is the facts of life.
It's not a fact, my dear. It's not a fact. You don't know what you're talking about, and I'm just going to move on to the next one because I'm tired of listening to this lady who doesn't know what she's talking about.
They want an interesting woman in their life, but one who will help them see themselves. Want to see your aunt or your mum? You go do that. You category. You go and do your degree. You need to go do. Now, you're still a kind person. If he asks you for help, you can help him. We're not talking about that. Or he asked you to cook him a meal. Fine, cook him the meal. Go for it. Do whatever you want to do. But the point is, you put into yourself. You want to go get your hair done? You want to go get your nails done? Cool, do it. Let's come out of the nail and hair category. You go and do your degree. You need to go do your studies. You go study. You don't drop that and go meet him. You want to see your aunt or your mum? You go do that. You don't drop everything to go and meet him. That's going to add value to you. Number 3.
No. So that part again is wrong. It's wrong. If you have something already planned up, let the man know, hey, I already have something planned up. Is it possible for you to meet me on this day? Yeah, sure. Okay, cool. I love that. All right, let's do that. That's it. Many men are not asking you to drop your whole life and come and meet them. They are not trying to do that. They are trying to make sure that, hey, my schedule and your schedule matches up so that we can meet and do whatever we want to do. Right? Exactly. That's how it is. If you love somebody, you can say, hey, listen, I'm meeting my mom and my dad or whatever it is. I'm meeting a couple of family members. Is it, I want to be with you, but at the same time, I want to meet these people too. They're going to come in town. It's going to be a short amount of time for me to be able to see them. Would you mind accompanying me to that? I mean, it's just simple things, man. Why are people complicating this thing? Why are they complicating this thing? They're playing all these stupid mind games.
3, men don't want a spicy, saucy fight every day, despite what rom-coms have told you. They want
That's true.
an interesting woman in their life, but one who will help them see themselves in the best light. Now, that was a really long...
No, not help them see themselves in the best light. Men should not have a need for a woman to tell them who they are. That's one thing a man should never be. A man does not need a woman to basically certify that he is a man, or that what he's doing is what is the right thing. No, they just need a woman who basically accompanies him, somebody that's just a partner that is there to simply say, okay, you know what, I'm going to be somebody that's going to help you, encourage you, and so on and so forth while you're doing whatever you're trying to do. I'm somebody that's going to help you, shave off some of the edges, while you're doing what you want to do. But he's not there so that you can help him see himself in the best light. It's not how it's supposed to be. It's not the way it is. He already sees himself there. He just needs you to help him, shave him up a little bit when it comes to encouragement and support. No different from family members, whom simply say, you know what, you're trying to do this, hey, go for it. How can I help you get here? How can I make your life easier so you can get here easier? This is what he's looking for in a mate. Someone who makes his life easier. That's what he's trying to look for. And the first part that she mentioned, be it come drama, is men want peace. Men always desire peace. That's why many of the times when we see trouble coming away, we walk away. One of the reasons why many men walk away is because violence has been tabooed in this country. Physical violence has been tabooed in this country, especially from men to women. So many of the time a man just says his piece once and walks away. Many women look at it as, oh, maybe he's weak in conversation, or maybe he doesn't want to argue about it. No, it's because if he loses his temper and physically gets into that other section, it could ruin his life forever. This country does not give you second chances. So many times you say what you need to say and then you walk away. You don't sit down there going back and forth with a woman, because then she's going to get you emotionally entangled, and once you get emotionally entangled, some things can happen, and once you get into that zone, that's a problem. You don't want to get there.
Sentence, but let's check it out again. We are led to believe as women, because we're the ones who watch rom-coms, or we're the ones who watch 50 Shades of Grey, that men want this like spicy, saucy woman who's like, yeah, whatever, don't tell me, no, and then he'll chase you and then somehow make you succumb to his will. And this is all the like Pride and Prejudice and all that kind of notion that we get. If you find a man you really like, you need to be an interesting woman, one that he can oppose in opinions and have some kind of, oppositional conversation with. That's true. He doesn't want just like this beanbag of a woman who has no opinions, but he wants to see himself as amazing through your eyes. That's the whole notion of femininity.
No. Most men don't want to see himself as amazing through your eyes. They are not trying to, certify their existence through you. The reason why he needs somebody sometimes to bounce idea off of is because he needs somebody there just to bounce ideas off of. Somebody who's going to throw a monkey wrench into the whole concoction. That's what he's looking for. It's no different from me going to my friends, talking to them about certain things, and if they're able to convince me otherwise, then maybe my conviction regarding what I want to do may not be that strong. Regardless of the situation. If I go to my friends and talk to them about the situation and they're giving me all these kind of mixed messages, I'm going to listen to what they're saying, take that into consideration, and still forge on to what I want to do. Because now I have, to some degree, some other disadvantages that I may have not had, even through research and so on and so forth, from these friends of mine. I need a partner who to some degree is going to add that kind of like, hey, these are some of the advantages that I see in doing it. This is this is that, and then boom. If you want to go with it, you go with it. You know, someone like that. That's all it is. He's not trying to be amazing through your eyes. He's just trying to accomplish what he wants to accomplish.
He wants to see himself as this incredible man through your eyes. Like when you see him, when you witness him, these statements of like, you're an incredible man, or you make me feel safe, or all that kind of stuff is really important because...
Let me put it like this, my dear. The only thing a man wants to see with a woman are two things: respect and a smile. That when you see him, you smile because you just saw him, and that he's alive, and that you love him. You show him that you care about him. These are the things a man wants. It's not about he's amazing through your eyes. No. It's that you show him that you love him, that you care about him, that just his existence is more than enough. Men are tired of always feeling like as if their own purpose or their own reason for being with somebody is because of what they bring. Enough is enough. Men just want to be loved. That is it. Okay? We just want to be loved too. We're not robots. We have emotions. We just want to be loved.
He wants to... The type of woman a man would struggle to leave, and I tell you this many times, is the type of woman who makes him feel like the man he wants to be. That is the biggest crux that you need to understand.
You see how she mixed up all this bullshit with exactly what a man wants. A man wants a woman who makes him feel happy. By her smile, by her respect for him. That is it. That is it. He struggles to leave a woman who gives him these two things. Now, it doesn't mean he's not going to sleep around. It just means he's going to struggle to leave you. He loves you because of these things that you're providing.
So these rom-coms will sell us the idea that women, you know, that we want to be like this hard to get, spicy woman. Because people who are nonchalant and they're accepting and a bit stoic and secure are very attractive. So don't be a spicy chihuahua. Be an interesting woman with an opinion, but spicy chihuahua, no. Number 4, it's not about hard to get, it's about hard to get but easy to be with. You know what I mean?
I know what she means, and she's right on that one. Hard to get but easy to be with. That means you're not causing me trouble, you're not causing me headaches. You understand how to be compliant, you understand how to take a compliment, you understand how to be nice to me, love me, smile at me. You know how to talk to me when you're upset about something or when you need something. You know, those are very, very important. But what she meant by hard to get, that means other men, once I have you, other men should not have access to you anymore. That means you're loyal. And that's very important. It's part of being respectful or being with me. And that is it. She has a point there. I'm not even going to continue there. I'm just going to leave it there. Let's go again to be confidence. Go.
With that. Number 5 is, if you're confident, you will be attractive to him. Confidence means knowing your product has value. And by that, I mean, I see a lot of DMs from you guys, from women, talking about, but how do I mention that I want to get married? Or how do I mention I want a long-term relationship? You're acting like you're the biggest piece of trash at the bin, that all the juices from the bin and the trash and everything has gone down to, and you're just like stuck to the bottom of the bin. You're acting like people would be disgusted at the notion of being around you or being with you, and you're like, how do I let him know that I want a relationship with me, the piece of trash at the bottom of the bin? I'm so disgusting. How do I know that me, this disgusting bin trash, wants to get married?
You see how women's insecurities are getting into the way. You know, like basically you're insecure about your own self. That it's not about confidence. Like I said, if you're valuable to a man will see that value and he'll want to wife you up. But in this society, the way it is right now, no man in their right mind should be marrying any woman. No man in their right mind should be doing so. So marriage is out of the question. But if you're with somebody that you love and you know that person loves you, you two need to have a conversation and have an understanding on how things need to go in order to make sure that you two can be together. Make it very known to this man that you want to be with him for the rest of your life. That's it. And you're not sitting down here so that you can waste time. Just let him know. You know? And if he's not showing you the same distance, then you need to walk away. You need to freaking walk away. Don't even waste time. It's not about confidence. It's just simply about simply saying that you will not be played with. And you don't have time for stupidity. You need people that can value you. People who show you that respect of valuing your time and who you are. And the only way you can do that is many of the time is by stating what you need, by stating that boundary that you need, and if that person does not respect it, then you walk away. Simple and short.
Next fact that I wish I knew about men, that when I tell you, you will not listen, but I will tell you anyway. If you're not his type, or he is not ready, leave it. Leave him alone.
I agree with that. Totally. I agree with that. Don't try to force the issue. Don't try to force anything. If you have the feeling, and you will have the feeling, because the relationship is always one-sided. If you see this man not showing you love back, not caring about you, do not bother showing him love too. Walk away. You cannot change him. You cannot change his house. You cannot change the way he thinks. You cannot change anything about him. Just leave him alone. If you're there just to do the then just do the and go on with your life. Do not, under any circumstance, think that the child is going to change him, a new job is going to change him, or new this. No. If he is not for you, he is not for you. If he doesn't like you, no matter what you do, heaven and earth, you can do, that man ain't going to love you. Just like a woman. If you as a man go around spending heaven and earth on a woman that does not love you, you're not going anywhere. You already know that. You're wasting your time.
He will not change his mind. There's nothing you can do. There is no cool thing you can say. There is no acrobatic thing you can do in the bedroom. There is no boob job you can get. There is nothing. And if he is sure, and you are his type, then there's almost nothing you can do to put him off. I know that's really strange to say.
Oh no, you can do a lot of things to put him off. Okay? You can do a lot of things, especially when a man reaches his 30s. You can do a lot of things to put him off. Trust me, if you're his type, you better be careful. Because for him, he'll look at it as weakness. And if he sees that he can be weak because of you, and he starts seeing these nasty things, he's going to drop you like a bad habit. Because he doesn't want to feel weak if the relationship continues. He will drop you faster than the woman. Maybe if he's not too attracted to her, he say, you know what, let me just get some nookie here and there and so on and so forth and keep it moving. But if it's a woman he really likes and she's acting real bad, he will drop you faster than a bad habit. Trust me, he will, because he will see it as a vulnerability for himself. Do not make that mistake. He will leave.
But it is the truth that if you are not his type and he is not ready, you can pay him $1 billion. The sponsor of this episode is Dreamland Baby. The founder had her son. Next is, kind of tailing off the last one, is if he's not sure, you shouldn't be either. I wish I knew in my 20s that if a guy isn't sure, if he's like, yeah, maybe we should just date and, you know, see how it goes or all these things, but you're putting 100% eggs in that basket, as soon as he says, I'm not sure, you should not be sure as well. You should start dating other people. And I don't mean like in this, like, oh, just date other people, rotational dating. I don't know what the terminology is. But if he's not sure, you're not sure. Because if he's not sure about you, you're not sure about him. And it's not a tit for tat situation. But everyone who to be a provider and a father and all these things. Now, there are that 2% leaving no matter what. So that's the case for that. The next thing I wish I knew in my 20s about men, and a lot of you DM me about this, but I never reply because I don't know how to phrase it, because there is a minor exception to the rule, maybe like a 2% exception to the rule. But mostly, young men are not ready for the relationship that you are looking for. He is 22 years old. He is not ready to be a provider and a father and all these things. Now, there are that 2%, and some might say it's a hormonal thing.
No, my dear, it doesn't work like that. It's not a hormonal thing. It's nothing like that. It's just that the world we live in is not conducive for people marrying early. Now, are people able to marry early and live together properly? In my personal opinion, I would say it's better to start early. That way, you guys can form habits together. You're not so traumatized before you two get together. And you two might just know two partners and you guys behave in a similar manner that is conducive to each other. It's often best to build character earlier on with each other than it is later on. The older you are with all the trauma, with all the issues, with all the behaviors, it's very hard really to change and adapt to somebody new. It's very hard because when you do that, you feel like as if you're losing yourself in the process. And that's not what you want to happen. So as a result of that, yes, sometimes a man in his early 20s can be ready, but the woman also has to chip in. She's not going to sit down there and just say, oh, you're going to take care of me. No. She has to be working. She has to be doing things for herself. That means two people working together in order to achieve something for themselves. That's all I'm going to say about it.
Men in their early 20s are very high testosterone and low on the hormone that makes men commit. What is that hormone? Come on, thyroid. Give me my memory back. I cannot remember. But if you look it up, there's a hormone that men, oxytocin maybe, that goes up.
No, that does not happen. It's not because of the testosterone and oxytocin. It's women that have that. That's bonding mechanism. Men don't have that. Alright? Men do not have that. And the reason why you're talking about men have higher amount of testosterone, no. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with upbringing, religion, culture, and so on and so forth. That is the reason why you don't have some of these things. And then environmental issues, financial issues, and so on and so forth. There are so many things that are going on right now in a man's 20s that basically you can't even expect them to succeed while they're in their 20s. Most men work so hard and maybe start achieving some degree of success in their 40s. That is the reality. Except with certain millionaires who hit the jackpot here and there. Maybe they started making money maybe in their 30s or in their 20s or even in their teens. They started making money because they hit the jackpot. But most men's lives, I'm sorry to say, they start seeing some real progress in their 40s to 50s. That is to some degree, maybe to some degree of a provider. And even then, they still need at least 20 to 30% from the women in order to help make things a little bit better, in the financial department. So leave that topic alone. You have no idea what you're talking about. Right?
Later in men's life, that makes them actually bond. Whilst in the beginning, they're very high testosterone. Like, look at young men. They're very fiery, high testosterone. They want to, they don't get attached. That's the hormone that stops them from getting attached. And later in life,
it's not being attached. It has nothing to do with attached. Like I said before, it all has to do with culture. Most men look at attachment as the end of life. Being attached to a woman with children many other times is more like you've lost the edge, man. You're no longer on the edge. It's like, living at the limits, and now you're at the edge. You've lost the edge. You've lost it all by no longer living at the limits. You've lost the edge. You're more like you're scared now. You want to live for something. That's basically it. Most men in the young age often have this idea of, let me go out there and walk and get this and do this and do that and do this. But when you start getting older, you start feeling lonely. You have so many other people around you dying and so on and so forth. You just feel like you need companionship at that point. It has nothing to do with testosterone. It just has to do with your environment, really. If you have a lot of people around you, most of your friends are all getting married, many of the times you just feel like, you're just like all duck around. And even then, maybe if you want to push it a little bit more, then sure. But most guys just feel the need to just settle down, man. They feel like it's time for them to settle down. No longer running around playing or who am I meeting tonight situation. A lot of men don't have time for that. They got too many responsibilities to be dealing with that rubbish. So that's why.
If testosterone drops and they look for an older guy. And by older, I don't mean 50. I just mean in their 30s and ready to take that step with you. Let me get this child. Okay, I got my little handheld mammal. She's here and going to continue with the points. When he needs space, closing the gap will make even a good guy run. This is really hard to understand in your 20s because all you...
Totally agree. If a man says he needs space or he goes into his man cave, do not disturb. Do not disturb. That is his R&R time. If you see him walking on the vehicles, if you see him walking on the house, many of the times he's just trying to just do something that just makes him feel great. At that point, do not disturb. Just let him go through the whole process. It's more like a hobby. You know, he's partaking in his hobby. He's either playing video games or he's building something in the house or he's repairing something, or it's just a hobby. He's trying to use that to center himself.
What you're trying to do is trying to basically self-soothe. So when a guy is asking for space or running away or doing all these things like wanting to be with his friends or even communicating clearly to you, I would like more space. And instead of respecting it, you are showing up at his house being like, oh, but I bought tickets to this. Or you might be doing it a lot more in his face. Like, why would you need space? I thought you and I were dating, all these things. The reality is, even a good guy will be put off by that because healthy relationships need space. But you, as a younger woman, might believe, unless you're securely attached, that you need to close that gap because you are panicking. Oh my God, he's running away from me. We're not going to be together. It's going to be really bad. You're trying to put a band-aid on the fact that you feel like he doesn't want to be with you. The reality is you need to let that guy go. As soon as he says, I want space, you need to be like, run, baby, run. Because number one, if he's healthy and normal, he will have that space of 5 minutes and then he will come running back to you because he'll be like, wow, I miss...
No, my dear. No. Please don't tell the ladies lies. If that man is looking for space, he's trying to deal with his problems. There are other problems that he's trying to deal with. A man is not trying to tell a woman all his problems. Many of the times, I will only speak from my own point, that the man is walking away so that he doesn't have to confront that problem to you or push that problem towards you. You shouldn't be dealing with the stress in his life sometimes. He's trying to at least seclude a little bit and deal with his own issue while at the same time keeping you safe mentally and physically from some of the issues. You know, sometimes a woman is trying to get into your situation and then as a result she just ends up just making you pissed off. You're already pissed off at the situation and here she comes with her annoying behavior all in your circle. Yeah. And then you're now pissed off and then you do something stupid and the whole relationship is all messed up because you're trying to, self-soothe, you're trying to, do some things for your own self, and here she is just trying to make the problem a little bit harder by her voice and disturbing your peace. So that's the reason why men often give distance. Now, if a man doesn't want you anymore, he's going to tell you, listen, I think it's over between me and you. I'm done with you. Goodbye. That's it. He'll just make sure he lets you know. That's for most men who are well-centered. If you're dealing with some of the kids of nowadays, maybe who are in their 20s, I don't know. Many of the times they don't act like men because they don't have fathers. Some of them don't have fathers. So they act like babies. But for the people that I grew up with, for the people that I know at my own age, we will say, you know what, we are done. That's it. If the man is asking for space, say, listen, I need some time to cool off. I need some other distance. Give him that time that he needs. And if you don't see him a couple of days, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, just keep it moving. That's it. He's done. Or maybe he's not done, but he's just giving himself more space than that. That's it. It depends on the woman's tolerance. If the woman has more tolerance to be able to stay far away from her hobby for a good number of weeks, then yeah, she can tolerate it. If not, she can just move on and do something else with her life.
I have assessed. I've been without her. It's really easy for a man to assess how much you mean. People want their space. Human beings want space. Human beings need to feel autonomous and like they are in their own right and they can make decisions. Problem. Let people be who they are and do not try to change them. If somebody's not interested in you, or they are interested in you, but they're just not the type of person for you, if they have different values to you, if they don't want the same things you want, and instead of accepting them for who they are, you try and change them, is not right. We as women drop the handkerchief. We as women see the guy that we're interested in and have to give him a sign of our interest. We have to give that man a sign of our interest. How do you do it? Ask him to hold your coat, drop the handkerchief, metaphorically speaking, smile at him, look at him for too long. There's all these ways. I talk about it in my feminine energy course on margaritanazarenko.com, so check that out. If you haven't checked it out, I talk about these things a lot. But the point being, pick the man you want. It doesn't mean you chase him. Never chase the man, but pick the man you want. Give him a sign, because a lot of the times the quality men, they're not going to come up to you because they've been taught about the Me Too movement. They've been taught that talking to you at the gym is a cause for concern. So if you like him, look at him for a bit too long. Say he looks great in something and then stop. That is the way to do it. So don't chase him, but give him the sign. Pick the man. The man should not pick you. Next.
Okay, so in as much as she said what she said, I'm going to add to something. For the ladies, if you're listening to this, please and please go ahead and tell that man that you like him, but you would like to know more about him. That is it. Just make it straight and clear. Do not give him all these signs and so on and so forth. Oh, give him your coat. What is he? A coat hanger or whatever? Or is the how do they call those people again? The usher? You know? Don't do that. Don't disrespect a man like that by telling him, oh, here's my coat. No, don't do that. You see a man you like, tell him, listen, I like you. I would like to get to know you. It's no different from your job. Like you go for a job interview, or you're going to go and do something. Yeah, go out there and how would I say? Go out there and get your man. Tell your man, hey, I'm really interested in you, and I'd like to get to know you. That's what it is. Simple and short.
Despite thinking that looks is what will attract you to him, in the long term, if he is not the type of man that you want to be with quality wise and value wise, and how he sees you and how he, my daughter is laughing at me, that's so funny. This is not funny. You need to listen to this, baby. Her name is Valentina. You need to listen to these points, okay? I'm telling you these points so you can understand and value what I'm saying. So looks is not all there is. You might be attracted to him at first, but due to the fact that you're a woman, the looks will fade real quick, fast and sharp, if he does not have the same values. Like, you all put 6 foot into the dating apps, don't you, right? Start putting 5'8" or something. See what other men there are out there. I'm just using height as an example. He can look very sexy very quickly if he has the same values as you, wants to provide for you, and just sees you as a goddess, as opposed to that 6 foot guy who is not interested. And I know right now you're like, no, but he's sexy. Like, I'm so attracted to him. He won't be. He won't be.
All right, I'm going to have to stop the video right there, guys. She has said some things, and basically I have pointed out some of the areas that she needs some correcting to do. She put out a lot of false information that are going to get a lot of women into trouble when it comes to men. Women should always find out the kind of man they're dealing with. That's the number one thing. You have to find out what makes him tick by asking him questions, by seeing him react to those things. You have to make sure that what he's telling you is actually the truth. You know, many times I know a lot of women see a guy who's well built and all their brains just leave the building. I can understand that. Hey, I'm not going to fault them at it, because that situation also happens to men. But what I will say to a lot of women is that you have to learn how to select properly. You have to look at the man's action. You have to see where he's going. You have to see how he interacts with other people, how he behaves with other people. You know, how he treats people who are very unfortunate. That will tell you who he's going to be when the chips fall. Because today you and him might be in good terms, and tomorrow when you and him fall out of terms, you already know what to expect from him. If you see him treat other people that he's not on good terms with in a very harsh, disrespectful, arrogant kind of way, expect him to treat you the same way once he falls out of you. okay, falls out with you. So that's going to be my own topic on this situation. I'm going to be coming out with some other clarity on certain things, especially what men should be actually be looking out for, especially when it comes to women. Many of the times I cannot tell any man what actually to look out for, particularly to know that, these are the things that would help you, understand women better. But I can tell you exactly what it is to use to know when a woman has no interest in you and why you shouldn't even bother pursuing or moving forward. Alright, guys, it's been real. This is your host, 5 minutes or less review, which is no longer really what it is anymore because that name was dedicated to animes. So it's only for animes that I do the 5 minutes or less review, and if you want more than that, then I'll do so. But I think I'm going to go back to animes again, hopefully. But at the same time, I'm going to be talking about manosphere information because from what I have been seeing in the manosphere, there has been a lot of disinformation, and I think it's not helping the younger folks. There are a lot of behaviors that younger people should watch out for. So anyway, guys, it's been real. I'll see you guys on the next episode. Until then, you guys stay sharp. All right, peace.